something that's good for me.
What's going on, guys? Today we're not wasting any time. We are going to learn how to solo on a kompa beat from scratch. We're going to go from ground zero and work our way up. So this lesson is for you, especially if you are a beginner. You can learn how to solo on a kompa beat. We're about to jump right in. Let's go. First things first, I want you guys to go ahead and like and subscribe this video. Go ahead and hit that button, guys. We're about to get right into it. If you have any questions on anything I'm doing, go ahead and comment below. I'm quick to answer. If you need kompa sounds or more lessons or anything like that, go to kompakeyboardschool.com. Let's get this thing started. Number one, guys, if you are a beginner, this lesson, like I said, is for you. So you hear the kompa beat, guys. What's the first thing you need to do in this kompa beat? You need to identify the key. Number two, you need to identify the basic chord progression. What's the chord progression? What group of chords are being used repeatedly? And number three, we begin our soloing phase. So let's get this thing started. Number one, what's the key? We are in the key of C. Guys, if you don't know how to find the key, go ahead and go to kompakeyboardschool.com. I have a full lesson on that. There's a beginner's kompa course. Number two, we know we're in the key of C. What's our chord progression? Let's listen closely, guys. Okay, guys, it's C, F, G, F. C, F, G, F. Now, we're not going to get into how to find out what the chord progression or the key is, guys, because that takes a lot of time. You have to train your ears, basically. You have to look for the note. And then you guys, you have to, some people like to do this to test it out. And if it fits instead of, you see how that didn't fit? This fits. So a lot of people, they have to train themselves in different ways. It took me a long time to begin to identify the key. But listen, we know our chord progression is what again, guys? This is the basic form of kompa. It's called the and A. What is it? C, F, G, Now, one thing I have to tell you before we begin to enter into our solo phase, what is the timing of the chords that we're pressing right now? That's going to be the key to when you're soloing. The timing of the chords you're on is the key to how to create a good solo from scratch. So let's start it off, guys. We're going to see 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. You see, each chord is 2 seconds. 1, 2, then next, 1, 2, then 1, 2, then 1, 2. So C, 2, F, 2, G, 2, F, 2. So each chord is 2 seconds long. 2 seconds, guys. So what can we do here, guys? We know our chords are C, F, G, F, and we know that they're 2 seconds long each. So we can do a basic solo and then start to improvise and change it up and make it sound better. So what would be a basic solo if you're a beginner, guys? Something like this. C, F, G, F. Or 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So if you're a beginner, it's good to practice the timing of your chords. But that's the most boring solo you can do. So what we're gonna do, guys, I have certain techniques I want to break down to you guys to make these solos sound way better. Listen, what we're gonna do is we're gonna invert the C. Instead of doing a banana, we're gonna invert the C to this C. We're gonna use G, C, E. And then we're gonna start on a different timing. We're gonna start in the middle. Right after the chord hits, we're not gonna start exactly on the 1 count. We're gonna start after that. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, instead of 1, you see that banana on the 1? 1, 2, 3, 4. We're not gonna start exactly on the 1. We're gonna let the 1 hit and then start on the 1.5. We're gonna start right before we say 2. So 1, 2. You guys heard that? I didn't start on the 1, 2. I started on the 1. That's 1.5. We're starting on a 1.5. So it's good, instead of starting exactly on the time you're counting, it's good to start right after the count. So that's the key to playing nice kompa solos, to improvising and being smooth with it. So we're gonna start on the 1.5. 1, 2. So we have that for C. So let's continue. 2, 3, 4, 1. And if everything sounds the same, you see how it sounds a little better just because one of the solos are on a different timing? So what else can we do? Instead of doing this regular da-da-da for F, we can do something else for F. So watch this, guys. Instead of using a regular F, what can we do? We can add the second note of F. What's the second note of F? It's G. So instead of F, A, C, we have F, G, A, C. So you know what I like to do, guys? I like to do this. You can walk down those notes, or you can walk up those notes. So let's try this, guys. We're gonna do the same solo, but instead of ba-da-da, we're gonna walk up using that second note of F. We're gonna walk down also. So watch this, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Watch how I change the F, guys. Watch this. Watch this, guys. So it's starting to sound a little bit better, guys, but something still needs to be changed, guys. Something still needs to be changed. When we get to our G, we can do a whole different type of solo here. You know what I like to do sometime also? Instead of adding the second note of G like we did with F, we can just add it and remove the third note. So now you have G, A, D. So instead of this regular G, B, D, we add our second and remove the third. So we adding the A and removing the B. And we could do something like this. You see this? D, G, A, D. All that could be a substitute for G. It's all about your chord substitution, guys. So let's try it again from scratch, guys. But this time we're gonna, instead of G, we're gonna use our D, G, A, D. So watch this, guys. So that last F, that last chord, we can do something different here. Our last F, we can use this inversion of F, which is A, C, F. And we can go ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. We can just keep walking down this A, C, F here. And land on the E. We're gonna land on this inversion of C, the version we started with. So listen closely, guys. Watch what I'm gonna do here. Okay. So you guys understand what I'm doing, guys? So we're gonna slow it down, guys. On the C, I'm using this inversion walking up. On the F, I'm using this inversion walking down, adding this, adding the G. On the G, I'm using a suspended second, but I'm adding this lower D to it. And on the F, I'm just walking down this F. So what do we see here in soloing? Soloing is made up of walk-ups, walk-downs, adding seconds, removing thirds. That's what soloing is made out of, guys. So listen, we have different examples of how to solo this way, how to make your solo sound good. But this technique, I want you guys to keep it in mind. Walking up, walking down, adding seconds, removing your third notes, starting on the 1.5. All these things coming together will cause you to play kompa very smoothly. So we're gonna practice this in different ways as I close out. Remember guys, if you need Kompa sounds for the Mod X or main stage or anything like that, go to kompakeyboardschool.com. One thing I'm gonna do is let the beat keep running so you guys can keep practicing. This is Roland Blazay, signing out. Hey, what's going on guys? Listen up, if you need Kompa sounds, don't forget to go to kompakeyboardschool.com. At kompakeyboardschool.com, we have tons of Kompa sounds. Whatever you need for Kompa, guys, we have all the Mod X libraries that you can think of, guys.